Hello, everyone. Good morning and happy weekend. And it's few days to Christmas. Yes, wow. Few days to Christmas. Well, the year is running so fast. And how is the hustling and bustling of the festive period? The market is so full right now. People are trying to buy things. And I'm wondering, the country is hard. There's no money, and people are still buying things in the market. Now wow, eh? But all the same, I believe you're all doing fine and you are preparing for the end of the year celebration and the likes. And for our viewers, I believe you watched the last episode of Just a Chat where we started an interesting topic. I believe you would love to hear the ending part. And there's a very cool gist I have for you as regard our programs and activities. But just stay tuned to the end of this edition where I'm going to release the gist for you. Don't touch that dial. Don't stop that data. Keep watching. Yes, before I continue, I have my amazing as in discussant. I won't call them guests because we are all discussant because we have this series we've started that is going to evolve into another phase of Just a Chat. It's not just a chat per se, but it's going to evolve. You are going to be seeing more of us on set. So join me as I welcome MOG.
Good morning,
International Celebrity Stylist.
Amen.
Yes, so
Good
you
morning,
are now.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, glad to be here. And it's like you look more relaxed a bit today. No work, no plenty job. And people are not sewing.
Oh, so
But you look as
you
in
must not kill yourself.
you must not kill yourself. I beg you must look good on Christmas Day.
Sure.
Even though you did not sew for me, on our last event. Well, I don't go vex anyway because I know that plenty clothes for me for this December. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Yes, so yes, she is having something special for me. Just watch out for my outfit for the end of this year. She's going to bring me some crazy ideas, as the MOG signature on it. I'm pouring cold water. I'm pouring cold water, because anybody who sees something, is that one for emojis? I'm pulling you. I know you like challenges. So
I have to close here.
no, not on my own head. You won't close. Anyway, let me welcome our next guest. No, not guest, discussant. He's our perfect gentleman, our friend, our colleague, our producer, and he decided that he wants to be part of this discussion. And we are super excited to have Pastor Nixon in the building today.
Good morning, God bless you. Glad to be here.
Good morning, glad to have you here, and thank you for opening up this series with us. Really enjoyed it, and I believe that people really enjoyed the last episode too. And we are looking forward to seeing more things that you are going to unleash from the spiritual angle, because we know that you always focus on spirituality.
Thank you, by God's grace.
By God's grace, spiritual dimension. You are not distracted from what is happening in the world. one way direction. Should be now.
Absolutely.
Spiritual as we are going physical, physical.
No, you are not physical.
We are what?
You are not carnal.
No, I didn't say carnal. I didn't call myself. We say physical. Opposite of spiritual
being.
Opposite of spiritual is physical now.
Yeah, actually.
But you always focus on spiritual things. So and we leave that. We are not arguing with you.
Sure.
So we leave that to you.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to learning more from you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to have you. All right. Very quick one. So that we just wrap up this episode before we take it to another dimension. We started this series on toxic relationship. And the last edition of this, we talk about how to know whether you are toxic. If you didn't watch that, go and watch it so that you can know yourself. You can know whether you are toxic or not. Perhaps maybe people have been complaining that, why are you doing like this? Maybe at home, at work, at any gathering you found yourself, you've heard people saying some things about you, about how you make them feel, or perhaps you don't even know. We talk about how you can really identify whether you are toxic or not. And in the next, the subsequent series of our new program that is coming up and is going to start next week, we are going to delve deeper into this discussion, understanding behavioral pattern of people, emotional behavioral pattern, how you behave, or maybe how you make them feel, or people are just complaining, maybe at work, at home, maybe your spouse or your parents, and it seems as if you feel hurt, you feel bitter, you feel angry because you don't see what people are seeing. You understand? And you are getting more hurt with the way people talk about you, or with the way with who people call you, and you don't see yourself that way. Last week we talked about how to identify some behavioral pattern. We discussed that, but in this series that we're starting next week, and I'm going to talk about that before the end of this, we are going to delve deeper, go deeper, analyze different behavioral pattern. Because if we're talking about changing our society, it has to start from changing individual. If you always see issues happening around between spouses, having issue between parents and children, a lot of children. I was hearing a child was talking that she can't even forgive her mom for what she has done, and I was like, how did they get here? That where did they find it missing? And you see the mother will be like, this child is not understanding me, she's not appreciative. And I have to look at it, that should this thing continue this way? We've seen cases whereby spouses are not getting along with each other, and people advise that, okay, don't stay in toxic relationship. Fine, which has been the solution to a lot of people, but staying apart, is that going to be the final solution? Is it going to really be the solution? Can there be other solutions? So these are things we are going to delve more into, and that's where we have our spiritual leaders among us, and by the grace of God, as a mental health specialist, we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about how to help ourselves understand our behavioral patterns. Perhaps there are some disorders you don't know. In Nigeria, in the part of this country, people believe that once they hear the word disorder, that means it's a kind of, they stigmatize it. But a lot of us have some disorders that might be affecting us and affecting the way we relate with ourselves. And if you don't know the source or the cause of some things, then it keeps continue. You understand? So, that's what we started last week. And like I said, that we're going to delve more into it. But for this series now, before we take it further, we're going to just wrap it up on the concluding part of what we started on Wednesday. So that we'll just talk about how to, we talk about how to identify it, right?
Yeah.
As we talk about that, like doing self-reflection. And you were asking a question the other time. Can you repeat that question? I forgot the question you.
That's how can you then?
Okay, so I think solution.
Yes, solution. Okay, now you've identified.
Yeah.
Okay, I have
This
toxic character. How can I help myself? What is the solution?
Solution to help. Yeah, and that's why we are here. One thing, there's a saying that when a madman identifies that he is mad, I'm sorry for using that. That's the beginning of the person's illness. That means you are getting better. Once you understand that there's a problem with me, that self-reflection, I think that is the major. It is a key part of the whole thing. Being able to understand, have the self-awareness that there's a problem. Or what do you see to that?
Actually, when a madman discovers that he's mad, then he starts getting into depression, knowing fully well that he's mad and there is no help. So at times, ignorance is like a bliss. When you don't know it, you glow in it. When people try to correct you, you feel like, what are they saying? They don't understand. That's why when you
Or maybe
see,
they hate you.
yeah, when you see people that smokes heavily, they feel like they are high. They feel like other people don't know what's going on. And when they are buying some of these things that they are going to smoke, you will see it there, loud and clear. Smokers are liable to die young. That is knowledge. They know. But when they smoke it, they feel their ears are blocked to the advice. So they prefer that what they are saying is not correct. They know better than even the producer of the hem or whatever they are taking. So at times it's true that when you know your problem, there can be solution. But people don't change until there is a higher force that changes them.
Sorry, sorry for cutting you. That must we now wait till the higher force forces you? Because most times the higher force might destroy it, while it will not leave you the way you are. It can cause some deformation.
Okay, what is even the higher force?
No, they...
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, when we talk about higher force, we mean something greater than you. Not necessarily. I'm not talking about God yet. Yeah, God can change you, but
Sure.
but when people don't have encounter of something that is bigger than them, most of the time they don't change. If you're always winning and doing bad, you will not see any reason to change. You will not see any reason to change. I was going through one of the social medias and I saw a man who has been stealing for years and finally caught. And while they were trying to sentence him, he said it's the work of the devil. You understand? So most people tend to look for who to shift their blames of their default on. But however, when I'm talking about higher force, it goes from what we call experience. Some could be damaging. Some people need that damaging experience to reset their brain. Some could be spiritual. And some could be just an encounter, someone they respect. Finally, being disappointed in them. That's why most men in the history, we discover that most men are changed by love. Love is a higher force. When you love someone so much, you will not want to disappoint the person. So you see some people trying to fake it until they begin to make it.
That's what I want to say. Because you see some people faking it, and when they've gotten what they want, they just go back.
I think that's part of a disorder. You know, in the course of the we're going to talk about narcissists. Narcissists, they are people that, you know, they know that they are really hurting you. In fact, they enjoy hurting you. They are happy when you are hurt because narcissists gain control over you. They gain control. You know, as in, you being hurt fuel their energy. You understand? So when they see that, okay, you are really in their control, and they know that, okay, you have nowhere to go, they are happy. But what can make a narcissist go mad at you is, number one, if you find joy and happiness regardless of what they are making you go through. If you are happy, because narcissists don't want you to be happy. A narcissist person don't want you to be happy. But if you choose that, regardless of what the person is making you go through, you choose your happiness. That's why I always preach, I always talk about find happiness. Don't say it is only in your man or in your woman or in marriage or in your children that you become happy, or when you get something you become happy. Let your happiness come from within. Don't let it be attached to something. And when a narcissist see that you are achieving something great, you find your purpose. Because a narcissist wants the world to evolve around them. They want to be the one that everybody will see. They want to be celebrated. You know, there are a lot of ways, you know, studying about this, it exposed me to a lot of things. And I had to just ask myself that, because, you know, we talk about self-awareness, and every one of us, whether you are guilty or you are not, or they say you are guilty or you are not guilty, there should be a time that you have that self-reflection. You should be doing it regularly. That, am I really doing this thing? This person that I'm staying with, this my partner, is he happy? Is she happy at all? If you know that the person is not happy, and you know you have this empathy, because one of the ways to know that you are healing or you are ready to be helped is when you're able to have empathy, that this person is not feeling, is not happy, I'm not making him or her happy, then you are working towards your being helped. But if you know that this person is not happy and you are still happy, then that's maybe that disorder is still there. You understand? So when you choose that, I'm going to follow my passion, I will live my best, the narcissist partner or parent will be mad at you. So these are the things that get, you know, we're going to delve more into this narcissist behavior, because we don't know, a lot of us have it, but we don't know. We think that, oh, this is who I am. And that's why we say self-reflection, for you to know that this is not about who you are. You are hurting someone else. You understand? So I think that is what can really help people to really understand how to just work on this. So when you once you identify this and you know that, no, I need to really work on myself, I really need help, then I think it's going to really help us a lot. You understand?
Because one thing is, we all need to be teachable. Because there's sometimes you will even tell people that this and this are your bad character, and they will tell you, no, this and this are what is causing my reaction.
Absolutely.
Everybody have reasons, right?
You tell them, no, this is not the right thing, it's a bad character. They will tell you, no, just let me be, because this is what is causing my character.
Maybe I should even ask, what is it, should I have, what standard defines good characters and bad character? How can we know? Someone that is saying this is I'm looking for a scenario to paint. Maybe somebody talks to someone, maybe someone talks rudely, and the person is justifying the way she thought that this person did something bad to me, so I have the right to talk, I have the right to call the person name, I have the right to call the person, they have the right to shout, I have the right to express, to be aggressive, to be abusive, just because somebody did something to you. So how can, and the person is justifying it, so how can we really weigh that, okay, this is really a bad character? What are we, so what is the, is it cultural value? You understand what I'm saying? That what says, as in, what can we say that can make us know that this thing is actually bad character?
Let me be very, very frank. Okay? A character is not bad in itself until you use it in the wrong place. Now, my dad, blessed memory, used to say something that a man married 3 wives. 1, a fighter. 2, hardworking lady. And 3, someone who's an orator that can meet with people. And whenever people in the society that are bad comes,
The fighter will go.
the fighter will come out. When there is work to be done,
The
the hardworking one will go. And when there is meetings to be done to interface people, the orator will go there. Now, we can find all this character in still one person, but where you use it is so important. Now, there are times that you need to be angry, we like it or not. But if you are now angry consistently, something is wrong. You understand? Everybody begins to avoid you. And there are times you need to be quiet. And if you are not quiet continuously, there is a disorder. So majorly, I think we are stuck between when to use what and what to use. Because when you look at everybody, some characters you are talking about, everybody has a measure of it. But how do you use it? Now, where the whole thing will go so bad is when someone is being resentful. You know, being resentful in the sense that you withdraw to yourself, you allow things to hurt you. Then when things we're talking about begins to give you a kind of self-damage or harming you within. You talked about happiness now. We like it or not, happiness is not meant to last forever. That's a reality. Whether you generate it or not, happiness has expiring time. You buy a car today, tomorrow you spend money on the car with mechanic, your happiness is gone.
It's gone.
So happiness is not really what can last long. Maybe just internal joy, something you create within your spirit, man. But things are going to affect your emotions. Things are going to happen that will affect your happiness. Now, is it that when you are not happy, the whole world must not be happy with you? You know, there are people that when they are not happy, they want to drag everybody. Don't you know what I'm going through? And that takes us back to what you said earlier, self-reflection. The fact that I'm sad, does that mean that the whole house, you know, there are some family that once the father of the house is sad, everybody will have their share.
Yes, yeah.
You understand? Well, if it is the woman of the house, it will start from the children. Then most men, we are wise. We usually avoid our wives when we discover that it's not the way they wake up. They want to go back to bed today. So we avoid them. But children, most of the time, that's where it will start from. And I've seen scenarios in counseling whereas the mother will be sending the child to the father.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Well, indirectly beat the child until the father responds. You understand? So we have different behavioral patterns, and we can't say which one is good until it's being misused. Because I think when we're talking about behavior now, we are talking about abuse. How you use it, where you use
Use of
it.
character.
If somebody comes beating you, slapping you up, and you are angry, you will respond back. There's what we call self-defense in law. Sorry. You understand? There's what we call self-defense in law. So I believe when to use what and how to use what. What measure are you releasing out? That makes us to know whether you are normal or abnormal.
Thank you very much. You talk about something about people who pretend to be repentant.
Yes.
People who pretend to, and because one of the main disorder is it disorder behavioral disorder I study is this narcissist.
Okay.
It's very, very peculiar to them. They pretend as if they change. And once I was talking about what makes them mad. Once they see that they've lost their control over you and they can't have you again and they are getting angry, they switch to who they are not. They switch to become what will please you, maybe what you wanted them. Just because they know that, okay, you are someone that you have a very, very flexible heart. You are someone that is very loving, because those are the characteristics of people that fall victim of these narcissistic people. So once they know that, okay, you are very forgiving, you are very loving, you are very loyal, they become the best of themselves. Not because they have actually changed, but because they know that that is your weakness, and the only way they can use to enhance their power, their control over you. And once they get hold of that, they know that, yes, they have the power again, and they go back to it. You understand? Haven't you seen someone that will say, I know that I'm bad. I know that I'm hurting you. I know that I'm making you feel bad. But there's nothing you can do about it, because that is who I am. Just accepting the way I am. Do you know there are some people that say that?
I know of people that say that this is who I am. Nothing can change it. You just have to take.
You just have to take. I was listening to a couple. I don't know, maybe I shared the video with you of a couple that they interview, and the man was saying that I think he was talking about maybe the woman's anger, and they said they just cut that snippet, that what attracted you to your wife. He said, my wife is someone that is always she takes the lead. She's always vocal. She's always strong. She's always she was just saying all the characteristics of a choleric woman, as in a woman that is in control. And they were asking, so when you see he said he loved the woman because of that. And they were asking that, how about when this woman now use it other way around you, that is going to hurt you? She was like, I married her because of that nature. But do you know there are some men that they are attracted to women that have power, women that can take the lead. They just love the leadership. I love my woman to take the lead. I love my woman to be this, to be that, to be confrontational, to be bold. But by the time they see the other side of that kind of woman, they will now run away and say, I never knew it's going to be like this. By the time you understand. So, when you understand what you want and you are ready to take responsibility that in the good and the bad side of this person, I want to take this person, and I'm ready to take the person for who she is or who he is. And that's always advise people that are not yet married. People that are married, they're already into it and they're looking for a way out. But if you are not yet married, I think if you see these traces in your partner or in your maybe to be wife or husband, I think it's very important. It might be a red flag, but the red flag should make you sit down and ask yourself that, do I still want to go with this? Do you understand?
There's a question that is running in my mind.
Okay.
Let me cite this example. Okay, you are going out with someone and you are seeing this red flag, and when you went for spiritual counseling, and they said the person is your spouse, is your husband or your wife, and you are seeing this red flag. Can I cope with this? But just because they say God says, let me just follow. In this case, what will you advise?
No, don't look at me because you say spiritual. Because if you ask me, I will just say, see, fine, I believe in spiritual, but compatibility matters first. Are you sure you can really? Because if the person is showing you shege before you get married, expect shege pro max by the time you get married. So that's me. I face the reality. If you are seeing some red flags now, it's better for you to address it and talk about it, that how can we handle this in case this thing even goes higher. Someone that is already being toxic, that is shouting at you when you are still dating, it is obvious that he or she might raise hand at you by the time you are married. So now I think I will now take that to a spiritual guest speaker who is going to talk about the spiritual aspect. When God is saying this is your partner and you are already seeing the red flag, so should such a person continue with it or not?
Well, if I will be very honest with you, the question is, how did you see yourselves before even praying about it? Now, before God says, there are people that they just want to hang it on God, looking for someone to blame.
Mm.
The reality is that if you have not brought the name to the pastor or your prophet, or there wouldn't have been God says.
Mm-hmm.
We are not in a society where any man of God will just go and bring someone and say, this is your husband, this is your wife. You are the one that still brought the name.
Mm.
And don't let us be deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manners. Now, if truly God says, I believe we know God.
Mm.
When God says this is the road and it doesn't look like it, by the time you pass here, you discover that the road has shifted.
Mm.
That's how powerful God is. Now, when you say God says, it doesn't mean everything will be fine from day
Perfect.
one.
Absolutely.
God said the children of Israel, told the children of Israel, he said they should go to the promised land. The journey was you need to see the map.
Mm.
The journey shouldn't take them for more than 40
Mhm.
days, but they spent 40 years.
Mm.
Now, if you don't understand what God is trying to drill in you, you may not get to your promised land.
Mm.
So, in every relationship, whether we like it or not, the people involved, they will want to have a level of control, a level of, I don't know how to put it, power in charge.
Mm.
And if they don't get it, they look for who to blame. It takes two to agree. Everybody has a level of toxicity.
Mm.
Everybody has it. But how well are you willing to cope?
Mm.
Let me ask you this direct question. Between you and your spouse, don't you feel like you should have some level of control?
Control. Sure.
Will you just allow your husband to do whatever he pleases? You understand? So everybody needs a level and a measure of control.
Mm.
But however, when it's an obsessive control, that is when it needs to be addressed.
Mm.
But concerning the law says, it's good. God can tell you, take your Isaac, go and sacrifice. And you can get to the mountain and God will tell you, I have made another provision. So if you will start with God, you must be able to know when God has changed the narratives. Don't just start with God, that God, you are the one that said I should bring this Isaac. I will slaughter Isaac. You understand?
Mm.
So if you will allow God to be in control throughout, not starting with God, then some people after they've done weddings, bye-bye to even the person that they said God told says through them. It is until they have another problem.
Mm.
So if you will allow God, God cannot lead you in error.
Thank you very much. I think we'll take that further in our in our series, and talking about the God says this is your partner, and that partner is toxic. Can that God change that partner? That is because at least God does not want his or her daughter to suffer, to go through pain, to go through depression. God doesn't want it, and God will not want you to have somebody. So can we say God now purposely, there was a time I was listening to a speaker that was saying God sometimes give us some people to come around us so that they can put us to check, so that they can put us on our feet. So should we say God now give them that kind of partner or that kind of parent, maybe from parent to child, now that can help you to keep your toe? We're going to continue that, talking about that. Can God change those people? If God is really saying that is my partner, or that I come through that parent, can God change that kind of parent? If you have a narcissist parent, you understand? We're going to continue from there, but very quickly, just talking about how to help yourself, just a brief one, in case you find yourself and you've been able to have this kind of self-awareness. Number one way is talk to people and hear feedbacks from people. What are people saying about you? I think we talked about this last week. Hear people's feedback. What 1, 2, 3 people have said about you. There should be a time that you should sit back and ask yourself question. Am I really this bad? Am I really doing this thing? So hear counsel from people. Then you have family and friends that tell you the truth. People outside might just be deceiving you, might be praising you, saying things that you like, but you should have some inner caucus that can tell you the hard truth the way it is. Listen to them once in a while. Then consider a therapy. I always say that consider talking to a therapy, whether spiritual therapy, maybe spiritual therapist or mental therapist. talk to them, open up yourself. They can help, they can give you guidelines. And also, you need to take responsibility for your actions and inactions. Acknowledge the things you've done, acknowledge your mistake. If you really acknowledge this thing, know that, okay, I really made mistake, and be responsible to make relationships that you have hurt, you have broken, amend those relationships. Learn how to apologize to people that you've hurt, because we need relationship. We can't be alone. We can't stand alone. We all need ourselves.
Sure.
So if you understand that, okay, I need you, you need me, we need ourselves to survive, then we know how not to hurt ourselves. We will surely step on our toes, but being able to heal, being able to amend things, being able to fight and also resolve things with love, I think it binds the society together. Yes. And before I go, the gist I said I was going to talk to you about, just a chat from is now going to be on Wednesday morning. Like the last one you watch on Wednesday, we didn't do the proper announcement on this platform, but we just did this one so that you can just be aware that from this week that we just finished now, then two as in subsequent ones is going to be held on Wednesday, every Wednesday in the morning by 10 a.m. between the hour of 10 and 10:30, 11. That's when we're going to be hearing just a chat with BUNMI ALABI, and we promise you that we're going to bring in amazing guests, amazing discussion and topics that is going to help you and I on this platform. And also, for this series, we are starting another series. This one is not just a chat. Guess what the name? The name is Hard Truth, Solution Bay. Hard Truth, Solution Bay. And in this session, we are going to talk about personality disorder, personality behavioral pattern in people, because everything we are talking about is about people's individuals' behaviors, and we see that there are so many behavioral patterns, there's so many disorders in people that we don't really understand, and we grow up to this and we pass this across to our children, and it affects our children, and by the time the children grow up to be an adult, they exhibit all this kind of behavioral pattern unknowingly, and they transfer it. But why should we continue to evolve around negativity, and we keep complaining that the society is bad? What makes the society? It's you and I that make the society. So if we can work on how we can change and behavioral pattern through learning and unlearning some things, I believe we're going to have a saner society. So Solution Bay is a place where we are going to talk about real life issues, what people go through. We're going to have case studies of what people go through, emotional issues that people go through, behavioral pattern. We talk about it from the mental aspect and also the spiritual aspect too. And we're going to bring people that have gone through one issue, maybe become victim of an abusive relationship or a negative behavioral pattern, and they will be able to discuss and talk about what they went through. And I believe you are going to connect with what we are going to discuss here on this platform, Solution Bay. So we're not just going to discuss, we're going to create solution for you to help you to become a better person as an individual. So I believe you are going to look forward to seeing that. And this is going to be a live program, and it's coming up every Monday by 8 p.m. Every Monday by 8 p.m. And on this platform, you can call us directly. You can call us on our live line. You call us, you ask us questions, tell us your own view, your contribution on this. Please stay tuned. Just mark your calendar. Monday, 8 p.m. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. We're going to have Solution Bay. Hard Truth, Solution Bay. Talk it the way it is, and you are going to see this same set of people there. Please spread this news, share with somebody that needs to hear this. And like I said earlier, Just a Chat is going to be here every Wednesday in the morning between the hour of 10 and 10:30. I believe I'll be able to pass the message. So we have one or two things to say to our audience so that they become expectant before we just wrap it up.
Yes, as in the way they know themselves. Just a Chat is for solution. It's providing solution. So watch out for Solution Bay. You won't regret.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, sir.
I would just like to say that by God's grace, we all understand that a lot of people are going through a lot of things, and solution based not just to talk about it, is to provide solution, both from the mental side, from the emotional side, and from the spiritual side.
Absolutely.
We will not leave any stone unturned. We just have to address life issues, and we know God is helping us through this.
Thank you very much. All right. So as we continue the merriment, the Christmas, and everything as a celebration, please stay tuned and keep in touch. And don't touch that down. And don't unsubscribe. Please, if you have not subscribed, please click that button now and subscribe to this channel now at BUNMI ALABI. Till we come away again next time on another episode of Just a Chat. And watch out for Solution Bay. Solution Bay. Hard truth solution. Let it sink. Let it sink. So thank you, Pastor Nixon. Thank you, Mrs. Kalejai, for coming. Thank you, our audience. See you again next time. Have an amazing weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.